Good evening, baseball fans, and welcome to another edition of Sports Talk with Rags here in Season 3, Episode 100. And tonight, here we are honored to have Cox and UVA alum and current LA Dodger Chris Taylor with us. Chris, how you doing this evening?
I'm good. Thanks.
Oh, sure, no problem. Appreciate your time, and let's start at the beginning. Here with growing up in Virginia Beach, was it just baseball, or did you play all sports?
Um, so early on, I played soccer and I wrestled. I grew up in a wrestling family,
Oh,
so wrestled through middle school, and then once I got to high school, the main focus was baseball.
right. Yes, and so my brother and I went to Western Branch, and my brother Mike Ragsdale pitched, but definitely with being involved in high school baseball. I mean, Cox high school baseball has definitely been a great, consistent baseball program. So that was probably a great experience being part of Falcon baseball.
Yeah, for sure. I was lucky enough to be a part of a few great teams there. Under Bill Conroy, and
Yes.
had a ton of great teammates. A lot of guys I still keep in touch with today, I'm close with. But yeah, it's a good program. I learned a lot there. It got me ready for the next level at UVA. And yeah, when I'm in town, I still try to go back and say what's up to the guys. My former teammate Matt Ittner's done a great job with the program over there now.
Right. Yes, and one of my friends from Western Branch, Jimmy Anderson, and Jimmy said that you played for him way back when in summer baseball.
I did. I played for Jimmy. I think it was maybe my sophomore year of high school. Played summer ball with Jimmy.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you get to be junior, senior year there at Cox. I saw that both UVA and William and Mary were recruiting you and being a part of not only Cavalier baseball but getting the opportunity to play for Coach O'Connor. That was a great experience.
Definitely. Oak and Mac and Kays, those guys all, started a legacy there at UVA, and, what they did in their tenure and are continuing to do for Oak and Mac. It's pretty impressive what they've built, from when they took over the program to what it is today. It's amazing. And actually going back to Charlottesville this weekend, so I'll see those guys.
Oh, cool. And the thing is, freshman year, you guys win 51 games, host a regional, host a super regional, Oklahoma got you, but 2011 winning 56 games and, having postseason right there at Davenport Field, but nothing like, getting the opportunity to come up with a clutch hit, walk-off hit to send your team to Omaha.
For sure. That I look back at that season and in that moment specifically coming up with a walk-off hit to send us to College World Series. One of the most special moments of my career, and something I'll never forget. I've had a lot of big hits and at the highest level, and that one matches up with all of them.
Right, and then after 2012, get a call from the Mariners in the fifth round to start your professional career.
Yeah, that's when kind of the next chapter started, and just thrilled to have the opportunity, and worked my way through the Mariners minor league system, and I was able to get to the big leagues fairly quickly with them. And then I I had just had a little trouble staying there, which a lot of guys do. And, I had to make a few adjustments, which took me a couple of years. A lot of it is um, kind of taking that leap of faith and trying something that you've never tried before. For me, it was making a swing change to try to hit the ball in the air more. Got traded to the Dodgers from there. And that's when my career kind of took off.
Yeah, and before we start talking about the Dodgers, I mean, I know before we started taping, talk to you about my wife's cousin Carter Capps. Also there in 2011 being drafted by the Mariners, but there in 2011, and then with you in 2012. I mean, the Mariners, they draft Danny Holtzen, they draft Hicks, then they draft you, and in '09 they drafted Caraway. So definitely a contingent of UVA baseball players there in a couple years with the Mariners organization.
Yeah, for sure. We had at one point we had five. We had those guys you mentioned. They signed Keith Werman, who I played with in Everett in rookie ball. So we had five of us all in spring training together at one point, which was cool. You kind of taking that next step in our careers together, and having the opportunity to play together in spring training, and some of us in minor league regular season as well.
Yes. Yeah. And like you said, the beginning part of the summer in 2016, getting traded to the Dodgers, and then July 15th, 2016, not only your first major league home run, but the first major league home run is a grand slam. I mean, what a feeling that was.
Yeah. That was probably at that point, one of the biggest games of my career. I think I ended up being a single shy of the cycle. I tried to bunt for a hit my last at bat, and got the pitcher cut it off and threw me out. But, that was right before I made some of those swing changes I talked about. That was the end of the year I got traded.
Yeah.
And at that point, that was the only career homer I had. I really didn't hit for much power. I think I had probably over 300 big league at bats and have one home run. And, that's when I kind of made the career choice to, make a swing change, and which is a scary thing. It's like I said, it's a leap of faith. You're changing what you've done your entire life that was good enough to get to the big leagues. But, for me, I knew if I wanted to stick and have the success and be the caliber of player I knew I could be, I had to make some big changes, not just little adjustments. And I was lucky enough to that off season get connected with Robert Van Scoyoc, who's our head hitting coach now, and he kind of helped get me there.
Right. And, so you get traded to the Dodgers in the summer of 2016, out of spring training in 2017. Don't make the club, but you still, work hard. April 19th, you get the call and never look back. And what a season, not only you personally, but for the team there in 2017.
Yeah, really special year. Like I said, all that work I did in the off season, paid off almost immediately, and had the opportunity due to some injuries to step in at second base. I think Logan Forsythe fractured his toe, and I hit. I was really swinging the bat well, and so when Logan came back, they asked if I wanted to move to the outfield, just to stay in the lineup, and of course I did. So most of that year, I think I played center field, and just kind of learned how to play outfield as the season went on, and that ended up kind of being my staple with the Dodgers. Is Being able to play outfield, infield, just fill in, wherever there's an opening. And, we playing for the Dodgers, you have all these superstars and guys that have everyday positions that are going to be in there every day. So, the more versatile you are and being able to play center field, left field, third, second, short, it allowed me to get on the field and play every day, even though it wasn't always at the same position.
Right. And then, there in the NLCS, you were co MVP, and then game one of the World Series, take the first pitch, yard, and just great, great season there into the postseason there for you, with there in 2017.
Yeah, that whole postseason was pretty crazy. Obviously, the World Series against the Astros has its own storyline, right. But that was one of those moments for me. Top five. Like looking back, first pitch I saw in the World Series, probably the furthest ball I've ever hit in my career. All the adrenaline and the crowd and everything. Just a surreal moment.
Yes, and 2018, get back to the World Series, and then 2020, I know is the pandemic, so it was a shortened season, but not only to win a World Series, but to win a World Series there with the Dodgers, and the first one for that franchise since '88.
Yeah. It meant a lot to our entire team. As you mentioned, we had gotten there 2017, 2018. Each and every year we expected to win, and to finally get over the hump and do it. I think, of course it was thrilling, but I think for a lot of us, it was almost like a monkey was off our back. The Dodgers hadn't won the World Series in over 30 years. So, I think everybody with us and the fans and, we were just, overjoyed and relieved that we had finally done it.
Yes. And then in 2021, got the opportunity to play in your first MLB All-Star game.
Yeah, that was a really cool moment. I'd had some good years up to that point, and it's so hard to get in the All-Star game. There's so many unbelievably talented players that are having great seasons that don't get voted in, and that's just the way it goes. There's only one guy, for the most part, one guy at every position, and it's so tough. And I was just so thankful to be able to get voted in, and just try to enjoy the moment as much as I could, and not to put too much pressure on myself. But that was a dream come true. It's every little leaguer's dream, is to one day be a major league all-star, and to be able to say I've done it is something I really value and cherish.
Yes, and then you talked about a couple of years before here with working on your swing and get more power, and there in 2021, in the postseason, able to hit a walk-off home run there in the wild card game, and then taking Braves pitching yard 3 times there in the championship series.
Yeah, I think that postseason, leading up to it after the All-Star game, it was a weird year, really. So many ups and downs. And after the All-Star game, I went through one of the worst slumps I've ever had in my career, and I actually got benched. And so I didn't even start the wild card game against the Cardinals. And I remember, getting ready to come in off the bench, just taking. I was grinding at the time. I was still searching, and I probably took more swings during a game in the cage than I've ever taken in my career. Just trying to find it, knowing I was going to get the opportunity. And to be honest, I don't think I really did find it during the game. I did not feel good, and it just so happened I came up in a big spot, and I had chased the slider in the dirt. And I knew it was their closer. It was he had a really good slider, and I just told myself, okay, I'm definitely getting that pitch again, and I'm just going to be on it, dead red, the rest of the at bat, no matter what. And lucky enough, I think he threw me another one in the dirt that I laid off of. Then he threw a fastball, like show off for a ball. And then a 2-1, he hung the slider. I got it, and I put a good swing on it, and that was that, And then from there, that just kind of helped me relax. And the rest of the series, I just felt great, and it's amazing. Sometimes you're putting so much focus on your mechanics and all of this. And in reality, I think I just had so much built up tension and all this pressure I was putting on myself. And then once I had that big swing, and it was just like, well, everything from here on out is gravy. There's no reason to put pressure on myself the rest of the playoffs. I already had that big moment that got us to the next round. And I think that's kind of what allowed me to have the postseason I had that year, and have the big game against the Braves where I hit the 3 homers.
Yeah, yes, and then I see in the summer of 2023, June 15th, you hit your 100th career home run, and it's not a solo shot; it's a grand slam, just like the first one, and just pretty cool here to have your first and your 100th here with grand slams here on both milestone home runs.
Yeah, just one of those freak things, honestly.
Right.
I don't know. I can't remember, but I might be the only guy that's ever done that, and
Yeah.
maybe 1 or 2 or something. It's just it's so hard to hit a grand, just to get the opportunity of coming up with the bases loaded. It doesn't happen a ton during the year. So to get that opportunity twice and to be able to come through for my first and 100th homer, kind of just a freak thing, but pretty cool.
Right. Yes, and then to UVA honored you with going into their baseball Hall of Fame here a couple years back. So just talk about your career there at UVA, and then with your professional career, during the off season, being able to go back to Charlottesville, and they're honoring you for your collegiate accomplishments when you were a Who baseball player.
Yeah, it meant a lot to me. All of the great teams and players that have come out of that program, and for them to decide to put me into the Hall of Fame there, it was a huge honor. And just have my name alongside guys like Danny Holton and Ryan Zimmerman and Sean Doolittle, and the list goes on and on. Something I really that kind of humbles me, and something I'll be proud of. Every time I go back to Charlottesville, just to know that I kind of put my name in UVA baseball history is cool.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And Chris, I appreciate your time. And as we're wrapping up here, you have a foundation here, CT3 Foundation, and I know that I met you at your charity event about a year and a half ago during the off season here at Top Golf here in Virginia Beach. So share a little bit about the foundation that you have.
Yeah, my wife and I started the foundation back in 2020 during COVID, and You know, we try to have one or two big events every year. One event in Virginia Beach. We've done Top Golf the last few years, and this year we've decided to make it a little more kid friendly.
Yeah.
And I think there's going to be a lot of little league teams that come out to. It's at New Realm Brewery in
Right.
Virginia Beach. It is on February 1st, and I think it's from 6 to 8, if I remember correctly.
Right.
But it's like $10. You get in with a $10 donation, and there's going to be. I think we're going to have a raffle. There's going to be like a moon bounce. There's going to be wiffle ball, and we're going to have the radar guns up. So we're really trying to put an emphasis on making it fun for the kids, and it should be a very laid back time, and and just having opportunity to interact with a lot of the people there, and hopefully some young baseball players that are future major leaguers.
Yes, and then also the two local charities here with your foundation are Rock Salad and CHKD, right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Sorry, we
Oh no.
each year all of our Virginia Beach events. We've split the proceeds to Children's Hospital, the King's Daughters, and the Rock Solid Foundation, and they're two unbelievable organizations that do great work, and we're just happy to help them out.
Yes, yes, and I know I went to the New Realm Brewery for Virginia Tech football thing, and it seemed to be, especially with nice weather, a lot of families coming out, and with you being from this area, and reaching out for little league little league teams to come on out, and should be a great night there. A week from Thursday here is February 1st. So just next week.
That's right. My wife and I will be there, and hopefully we get a great crowd, and looking forward to having a great night and praying for good weather.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And one last thing, and appreciate your time. And I saw that, the last year that you were at UVA, and I saw that, you started moving to the outfield, and then you said something when you were with the Dodgers of playing left field, center field, different infield positions. So, just talk about here to the listeners here as we wrap up that as long as you hit at any level, it's good to play different positions, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of the times we get in our mind that we only want to play one position, and I was that way too. Coming up, in my head I was very stubborn, and I was a shortstop and only a shortstop. I didn't want to play anywhere else. But yeah, like you said, I think being versatile and playing all over the field is starting to be embraced more in the game, and there's value to it. And it took me a minute to see it, but when I was presented the opportunity with the Dodgers, we had a guy playing shortstop by the name of Corey Seager,
Yeah.
and I don't think I was taking his job anytime soon. So, um, you know, kind of forced my hand a little bit, and it definitely was for the best because, I embraced that role, and I think that's a big reason I've been able to stick with the Dodgers and have the success I've had.
Yes, yes, and I see that you've had the opportunity of re-signing a couple times there with the Dodgers, and being able to play your home games here in Dodger Stadium, and one of the traditional ballparks, not only one of the traditional franchises. Definitely a great opportunity for you.
Yeah, no doubt. Dream come true. I really truly believe there's no better team to play for. and no better city to play in. Being able to play in front of the best fans in the world in historic Dodger Stadium. What more could you ask for? Given an opportunity to win every year, and I get to live at the beach, which is not.
Yeah. Hey, growing up in Virginia Beach and, having your professional career here since the summer of 2016, being out there in the Pacific Ocean, just a great way to have some downtime whenever that is.
Yeah, no doubt. I think everybody needs an escape. In this game, it can be a grind, and for me, being able to leave the field and come to the beach and be here with my family and dogs, and it's just kind of like I said, it's an escape from the everyday grind of baseball, and it kind of clears your mind and lets you reset each day you go to the ballpark.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And I'd like to give thanks here to Adam Morgan and Matt Ittner here with connecting us here to have you come on. So definitely, definitely a small world here, and appreciate those guys' help.
Yeah, absolutely. Two great people, both heavily involved in my life. So,
Yeah.
Ittner and Adam are the best.
Right. Yes. Well, hey, so for the 757 baseball fans, come on out next Thursday, February 1st from 6 to 8 at New Realm Brewery in Virginia Beach. Come meet Chris Taylor and support his foundation. And I will see you out there next Thursday. And go Dodgers. And thanks for your time, Chris.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Sure thing.